Welcome to Speaking of Spirituality, a podcast to share about the path of spiritual awakening. I'm your host, Amelia McLean, and I am so excited to be showcasing some inspiring stories and exploring some interesting topics, all under the umbrella of spirituality. So without further ado, let's dive right in. This week, I'm going to be talking about my money mindset and all of the shifts I have made around money throughout my spiritual awakening process. So, when I started going through my spiritual awakening, my money mindset was one of the first big things that I started to work on. And I feel like it's a hot topic in the spiritual community, and lots of people embodying wealth and teaching about what that means and how to build wealth as a spiritual person. And so I started exploring that pretty early on, and this was around the beginning of 2019. So something I've been working on for, coming up on 5 years now. Wow, that's crazy. And so, I realized very quickly it was a really big issue for me, something really deep that I had never really dug into yet. And there's so much that I have to say around this, but some of the questions that I started exploring because they were posed to me through some content that I was listening to. I got really big into Mind Valley. Side note, Mind Valley has some really amazing resources for people wanting to expand and learn about spiritual things, and it's all about personal development and stuff. Anyway, so some of the questions I started asking myself were, what are my beliefs about money and where did they come from? And most of my beliefs about money come from my family, which is probably the case for most people. I would assume, we build our beliefs starting as a child, and the people that we're most influenced by are our parents, obviously. So I won't say too much about my parents' personal lives just to keep them, their privacy respected. But I realized that I had been taught to buy things because they're on sale, and to really shop for things in a thrifty way, and getting things secondhand was a big thing that I grew up doing. And I didn't know it, at the time, obviously, but that really had an impact on my money mindset, because I would buy things just because they were really cheap. And I have really shifted that, actually, hugely shifted that. Now I want to buy things because they're the best quality things, and I deserve to have the best quality things. And so that's been a huge shift for me. And I mean, I have just recently unraveled some really big pieces of this puzzle for myself, and it's so deep. I mean, money is wrapped up in our self-worth, because money is worth something, and so we then begin to when we talk about self-worth, it's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely related to money. And so our relationship with our self-worth is reflected, I believe, in our relationship with money in a lot of ways. So, one of the books that I read 2 books when I was going through my spiritual awakening that really helped me work on my money mindset. And one of them was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the other book is called You're a Badass at Making Money. The author's name is escaping me at the moment, but I will find it and put a link to it in the description. Jen Sincero, that's her name, I think. Jen Sincero just came to me. And she has another book actually that I read first, that she wrote first, and it's called You're a Badass. That's also a really good book. And then she made a secondary book, You're a Badass at Making Money, which is specifically about entrepreneurs. And it's just a money mindset book. It's really great. Highly recommend both of those books. Anyway, so I started doing some money practices during that time, trying to help address my money mindset issues. And I had this little notebook that I would write in every day. I built a little money altar, and I would do this little ritual basically, and I would write in this book every day, I love money, money loves me, and something, 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 some other little phrases like that. And this was a recommendation from the book by Jen Sincero, You're a Badass at Making Money. I believe that's where that came from. And I filled up this little notebook with these affirmations, and I never really felt like that was helping. I don't know, something about that, it didn't really do it for me. I needed something deeper. And I kept feeling like I needed help. I kept feeling like I didn't have the necessary tools by myself to really tackle this money mindset issue that I was dealing with. I just had that intuitive knowing, like, I need help with this. And so, I did things to try to help my money mindset by shopping differently and really paying more attention to what I'm doing with my money, why I'm buying certain things over other things. One thing that I noticed at the grocery store was that, like I mentioned already, I would buy things just based on their price, not based on what I actually truly want. And so let's say I'm shopping for, like, I don't know, ranch dressing or something random. It doesn't matter what it is, but whatever it was, it'd be like ranch dressing options. Okay, let me just get the cheapest possible option just because I just don't want to spend very much money on it. And so, yeah, and then so I started trying to buy things because I want to have the best quality thing, like I said. And that has been really powerful for me. I'm still working on that. I still have struggles with, specifically around food. There's something about specifically when I'm shopping for food. And I haven't uncovered exactly what that is there, and I'm working on healing that. But every time I go to buy food, no matter where it is, well, usually it's at the grocery store, actually. I don't know that it happens when I'm buying food from other places like a restaurant or something like that. But when I'm at the grocery store in particular, I get up to the check stand and I have this feeling when I go to pay, either with my card or with cash, like, I don't know, like I hope there's gonna be enough money, or yeah, it's this weird, like, I'm not sure what that is exactly, but I'm working on that. So I'm trying to rewire my brain to say thank you for this food, thank you that I have this money to pay for this food, or whatever it is, to replace it with some positive feeling and thought. So let's see what happens next on my journey. So I got married really quickly after my spiritual awakening. My soulmate and I just collided paths and just got married really fast. There's a whole episode that I have about that, actually, my love story with my soulmate, and it's really beautiful. And so, yeah, there's been a whole new level of untangling my money mindset and reshaping my money mindset being in a relationship, in a marriage, because now we share our finances. And not only do we share our finances, but he's got his own money situation from his family that that he's been working on also, which we have actually very similar money mindsets. I think like money wounds actually from our family, so that's interesting. But he's got his own process going on with that, and I have now put myself actually in a situation where I'm fully dependent on him financially, which I don't like, and I didn't even necessarily, I mean, we didn't do this on purpose. It's just where we're at right now, but it's created a very interesting dynamic in our relationship, sometimes unfavorable for sure, and I have this guilt of spending money on things that are for me because I don't currently contribute very much to our family financially, and I feel like a burden. I feel like this weight on myself because I'm not contributing very much financially, and I feel also a layer of that is guilt because the reason that I'm not contributing financially is because I don't have a job, and the main reason that I don't have a job is because we have a baby, which is amazing and a dream come true for sure, but because I'm our child's main care provider, because we don't send him to preschool or daycare or anything, that's where most of my energy goes, is to taking care of him. And yes, I am doing things to try to build my business when I have time, but it's a slow going process because that's not what I'm putting most of my energy into all the time. And I don't want to have a regular job. So even if I were to be working, even if we didn't have a kid and I was, I would be putting all my energy into building my personal business, not into going to work for somebody else. Anyway, so it's just really interesting to me that I've put myself in this situation. But I definitely am doing some deep healing. And one of the big realizations that I had within the past year about the situation that I'm in is that I need to allow myself to be in this situation and let it be okay that I am receiving financial support from my husband, and feel that that is a state of abundance. It's where I'm at. It's the state that I'm in. And I am receiving that, and it's a beautiful thing. So instead of feeling guilty and bad that I'm here, just to be completely accepting and actually really thankful and grateful for him, that he's doing that for me and our family. So I've been trying to shift that. There's so much to say about this topic for me. So let's see, what's another aspect? So like I said, I felt like I needed help. I finally asked one of my friends, my friend Allie, who I've talked about before. She does a very special combination of massage and channeling. And what she does is she connects to your spirit team while she's giving you a massage, and she brings through messages from your spirit team. And it's always so amazing. And I love talking about her work because I want everyone to experience it because it's so awesome. She also does virtual sessions. She doesn't have to be doing a massage while she does the channeling, so she does Zoom sessions. Anyway, this is a total side note and plug for Allie because I love her so much. Anyway, so in one session that I had with her within the past couple of years, I finally thought to ask, okay, I've been working on this money mindset, money blockage, whatever, for so long now. Like, what the fuck? What is the root of this issue. Like, please let me know. So I asked my spirit team, and she said that they came through with this lifetime, a previous lifetime of one of my ancestors who I intuitively knew was actually me in a past life. So hundreds and hundreds of years ago, maybe even thousands, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but long time ago, in my maternal family line, there was an ancestor, and she was a leader of a village and a very good healing woman. This is back when, it must have been thousands of years ago, because this was like when women were the leaders of societies. So anyway, she's a woman, she's a beautiful, healing, good leader woman, and something happened where there was a man who wanted to take her power. He was jealous of her power. And so he basically made up something. He lied about her to her people and turned them against her. And and then he became the leader, and she was so just torn apart by this, what had happened. And she vowed to never use her power ever again. And when I say use her power, she was a good, powerful woman. She was using her power for good, but she shut her power down, and she vowed that she would never use her power ever again. And this vow that she made was so powerful and so strong that it actually affected every other woman in the maternal family line after her. So her daughter, and then her daughter, and her daughter, and her daughter, and so on, until came to my grandma, my mom, and now me. And I am here now in this lifetime to heal that and to undo that vow that she made. And I was like, oh, damn, that is a big thing that I have to do. And it took me like a few weeks to process that after she told me that. It was like such a big, just a big deal. And yeah, she basically said I need to go in and clear that by undoing that vow and rewriting it with the opposite words. And I've done that in a different healing session with a different friend of mine who's also really amazing, Christine. She does quantum healing hypnosis technique sessions, and so we did a session around that, and I asked her to help me with this situation, and we did that in the quantum realm, and it was very powerful. And yeah, so I guess, so basically the way that ties into my money mindset is that is, Ali said in her channeling, that is how this power shutdown has manifested in this lifetime for me, is that because my power is not fully activated, it's coming out in my abundance blockage. Like, I have this money abundance. I think it's money specifically. It's not just abundance in general, because I have abundance of a bunch of other shit. Let me tell you, my house is full of stuff. But it's specifically about money. So yeah, so that's a big thing that I've been working on. And let's see what else. And then within the past year, I had some big realizations. Like, it goes deep. Like, this money mindset thing for me goes so deep that I realized this is gonna sound so weird, and anyway, it's about doing laundry. I realized that I was re-wearing my clothes in order to not have to wash them so that I wouldn't be using so much water and have to pay more for the water bill. I hope that makes sense. That's like, and I just, when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, like that is crazy. That is a really deep thing that I didn't even realize I was doing. This is like because I meditate every day and I'm tapped into my subconscious thoughts. But this is the type of thing that somebody might just be doing and not even realize, which is exactly what I was doing for a long time until I had the conscious awareness that I was having those subconscious thoughts, and then tried to shift them by being like, no, fuck that. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to use that much more water if I do a little bit more laundry. Like I don't need to wear this item 5 times until I feel like it's completely disgusting. I can just go ahead and wash it after 1, maybe 2 wears if it's really not dirty, and that'll be just fine. I'm not going to use so much water that I have to pay more for the water bill. Like, that's crazy. And the other way that this came up for me was gas, putting gas in my car. I had been for years, and this is just something that I guess I just assumed everybody does, but I actually know that my grandma doesn't do this because she told me one time when I was a kid. So basically, I used to let my gas in my car get down to empty light on every single time before I would go to the gas station and fill it up. And this is a very, I didn't even realize until I put the pieces together, but this way of putting gas in the car is a very lack mindset way of gassing up the vehicle. And because you're waiting till it gets empty, being like, just letting it get all the way empty, and then like trying to save money. But then when you go to fill it up, then it's actually a lot more expensive, so you're spending like more money, so it just really doesn't make any sense. And so what I realized is actually it feels a lot better to me, and gives me more security when I'm driving my car, because I know that it has gas in it all the time, is I don't let it go. Now I hardly ever let it go below a quarter tank. Usually I fill it up when it's like half a tank, and then I'm actually spending less at the gas station every time, so it feels better all around. But the last straw for that for me, when I realized that I had been doing that, was when I actually ran out of gas. Like less than a year ago, I was driving with my friend, and I might have even been driving to get gas at Costco. I don't remember where we were going, but anyway, we were driving somewhere, and I had my toddler in the car too, so it was just really embarrassing and an inconvenience, and I had to call my husband to come and rescue me. And he put some gas in my car with his gas tank, and yeah, it was super lame. But that's when I changed that habit that day. I was like, fuck that, I'm never doing that again. I am always going to make sure I have gas in my car. And like I said, it just feels better all around. And so, yeah, some other really important things that have happened for me with my money journey are when I first invested in the Purium Superfood Company. It actually was, well, this is a whole nother part of my my money mindset journey, but basically I really wanted to get into this superfood company called Purium. And amazing products, by the way, highly recommend. If you'd like more info about superfoods and how to improve your health through Purium, I would be happy to talk about that. So send me a message if you'd like to talk about that. Anyway, when I found this company and wanted to invest in these products for my health and do a cleanse, I asked my mom to buy the package for me for my birthday because I didn't have the money to buy it. And so anyway, when I started learning about superfoods through this company, I didn't even understand really what organic meant fully. I just thought it was like better, more expensive food in the grocery store. But I think I need to do a full episode about food as well because it's such an important topic. But basically, I made a huge shift in my buying groceries because I decided that I wanted to eat only organic food because it's so important. And so instead of going to the grocery store and just buying the cheapest thing I could find, I was being more conscious and aware and intentional with my food buying. And I decided I would rather spend more money on good quality food that is organic because that's what I want to be putting in my body for myself, for my longevity of my health and well-being, but also for my son. I want to give him the best possible food that I can, and that is more important to me than money. So that was a huge shift for me. And a couple of other things that have been really important on my journey is being a spiritual entrepreneur and figuring out how to accept money in exchange for the healing services that I offer. That has been a journey in itself. There's a whole thing I feel like about being a spiritual person and like also trying to make money doing what you do. There's a huge stigma around that, but what I have really come to feel like, and because of another spiritual teacher of sorts that I really love, her name is Magik, and I think I've talked about her before too, and I absolutely love her. Everything that she says really resonates with me. She is an amazing professional witch, actually. She is a professional working witch. She makes her living doing witchcraft, basically, and she teaches other people how to do what she does. And she's awesome. I love everything she says. But one of the big things that she was talking about, she has a money magic ritual that I did. And she was talking about, I think she has a video actually on YouTube about this. And she talks about how spiritual people need to be the ones that have a lot of money in the world, because the people in the world right now that have the majority of the money are really bad, filthy people, dirty, yucky people that are doing bad things with the money, and they're not using the money in the best way for the good of all. And so she's talking about how this needs to shift, and in the new earth frequency that we're moving into, it will naturally shift, but that we can allow ourselves and empower ourselves as spiritual people to adopt this mentality and start to move into that wealth and abundance for ourselves right here and now, because we need to be the ones that have the money, because we are going to use it in a good way. We are going to support the local, artisans and buy things locally from little mom and pop shops, because that's what is good for everybody, for the environment, and for everybody. So I just really loved that idea, and that really made me feel more comfortable accepting money for my services, being like, actually, yes, I need to have that money because like she said, I'm going to be using it to buy the best food and buy the best quality things, and so that was really, really powerful for me. And another thing that she said that really helped me with that was about spending, and this is about spending money on myself. And what she was talking about was about her programs, because she has really high ticket programs that she sells. And she was explaining, because some people ask her, like, why are your programs so expensive? And she was explaining, well, they're not just expensive because she deserves to make that money for them because they're worth that much, but also because when someone is signing up for a program, they are saying to the universe, I am worth this much money. If you're spending $1,000 on a coaching program to improve your business and serve your purpose in your, for your soul's mission, you're saying to the universe, this is how much my program is worth, $1,000, or, this is how much the growth of my business is worth. And then that is amplified and comes back to you. And that was so powerful for me, not only in spending money on myself for things that are going to improve my or whatever I'm working on or further me on my spiritual journey, but also for knowing that it's okay for me to charge more for my services, because the same thing is happening for that person when they receive that from me. They are saying to the universe, this is how much I'm worth, and that increases their self-worth. So that was just a really beautiful realization, and something that shifted for me. And let's see. Yeah, those are pretty much like the biggest things that I wanted to touch on. And yeah, I think that's all that's coming right now that I really wanted to talk about. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this. And one other thing that actually also came from Magik, that was part of her money mindset program, that I never actually did. I don't know why I had an aversion to it. But I don't know, there's something to be said about like there's something scary about like being your full powerful self, being your your fully realized self. It's like, it's kind of intimidating. So maybe that's why I kind of shied away from parts of her practice, because it is so powerful and so deep, and I want that so much for myself. But I don't know, something, I need to go back to it actually and do it again, and really fully do the ritual and in its full entirety, because I did kind of skip out on some stuff. But basically the thing that I've really been feeling called to recently that I need to do is, her suggestion was to write a letter to money. And I think there's a couple of letters to write. One of them is an apology letter. Yeah, that's what it is. There's 2 letters. I think there's 2. And you can find this ritual on her website, actually. You should totally check it out if this is interesting to you, because it's so powerful. But basically, one of them is write an apology letter to money and say everything that you're sorry for, and act as if money is a person, like you're talking to a person and you have a relationship with this person, and just apologize for everything. Like for me, I'm so sorry that I haven't respected you, money. And like I recently realized that it was even hard for me to say out loud that I want money. I've just finally recently been able to say that and feel like it's okay for me to say that, because something about it felt dirty. It felt like I shouldn't say that. But like, why should I not want money? You know what I mean? Like, I deserve to have the things that I want and the things that I need. And I deserve to have enough money to be knowing that I can confidently go out and spend money and buy the things that I need and want, and know that there's more in the bank, and not be worried about that. I should be able to have that. And so yeah, so I want to do that, writing that letter to money and saying I'm sorry for everything, that, and just let it come out. It's just about just making the first sentence and just seeing what comes out, and things will come up, I'm sure, that you don't even realize. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then the second letter is a love letter to money, and rewriting, like creating a new fresh relationship, moving forward, money, this is how I want our relationship to be. and really, writing that love letter, like how are you going to enjoy that relationship, this new relationship with money. And so that's something that I'm going to work on doing soon, and I think that that's going to be really transformative and really powerful. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I will say too, if you have anything that you'd like to share, I would love to hear stories about your money mindset journey. If you've been working on this, if this is brand new for you, send me a message to my Instagram or my email, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Speaking of Spirituality. If you'd like to connect with me personally or book a session for Quantum Soul Alchemy, you can find me on Instagram at Ascending with Amelia. Have a beautiful day.